nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179, Laws of Uganda. Congratulations. All right. Now, candidate Nandala Mafabi James Nathan. As a duly nominated candidate, you are required to observe the following. 1, you are to appoint an official agent who will coordinate your campaign meetings and media program, and also attend meetings on your behalf where necessary. Secondly, you are to avail the Commission with a schedule of your campaign meetings and media program as soon as practicable to facilitate the smooth harmonization of all the candidates' campaign programs countrywide. And thirdly, you are to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Electoral Commission in compliance with the harmonized campaign program, timelines, and guidelines. May I now therefore ask you or your agent to sign this nomination document to confirm you have been duly nominated. Yeah, please, just the correct page. Yeah, just here. Yes. All right. You walked in an aspirant, now you are moving out as a candidate. And your status for that matter has changed in an instant. First of all, the law under the Presidential Elections Act provides that the state should provide you with 24-hour round security. We are going to begin that by giving you, or handing over to you, your security vehicle with the security personnel who will accompany or escort you wherever you are going on your campaign trail and wherever you want to go, except outside the country. They will not escort you there. Secondly, you also be availed security at your home. That vehicle is at the cost of the Electoral Commission in terms of fuel, payment to the driver, and to the security personnel. You don't have to pay them anything. And it has to be driven only by our official driver, to whom it will be handed over. After that, Mr. Candidate, you may, at your will, go to the media tent and address the media and the people of Uganda. They may want to hear your voice. So now let's go to hand over your vehicle, Mr. Presidential Candidate, so that you are well secured. Thank you. Secondly, under the Presidential Elections Act also, upon nomination, the Commission is required to avail you a soft copy of the National Voters Register. And I have it here. Let your agent come and pick this soft copy of the National Voters Register.
So the Commission will lead you. The Commission will lead you. Protocol will lead you. The Commission will go ahead and protocol will guide. And members of the press, after that, you proceed at the media circle, at the media center, and the candidate will speak to you and to the country.
And the microphone, you have to see.
Thank you.
The rest of the hello. Yeah, the rest can you can sit. We want our candidate to be seen as much as possible in the camera. Please, the rest of you can take seats here. Okay, candidates, you can now talk to the public.
Can give him this one. The other one.
This is
This one.
okay. The candidate.
Thank you so much. My name is Nandala Mafabi, James Nathan. I come from the mountains of the sun, and I've been around for almost 59 years. I began my life by going to school, a primary school, secondary school, and the university. I have done so many professional qualifications. I've worked as a civil servant at local and international, and I've been a member of parliament for 25 years. On this note, I want to thank the people of Daddy West, Wugisu, for having given me an opportunity to be a member of parliament for 25 years and all the support in the region, which put me on the platform so that everybody can see me. On the international scene, I've worked for World Bank and IMF, and I still consult for them. This work, which I do, is in the area of economics and accounting. In Parliament, whom you see here, served as the chairman of the national economy, served as chairman PAC twice. I was a leader of opposition, and all of you have seen the reforms I did during my tenure. I'm sure today you are seeing me in a different capacity as a presidential candidate. I'm currently the chairman of the Youth Cooperative Union, which union is the only surviving union in this country. And that's why I bring the knowledge of cooperatives in this election. For all of you who have seen me for this period, believe and accept I'm a worker. Since I'm a worker, I am a servant you can rely on. And that's the reason I'm in this election, to come and work for people of Uganda as your servant, to make sure you have better lives than you have now. And that's why our slogan, fixing the economy, money in our pockets. The reason we want to fix the economy is that in 1986, our current president, President Museveni, came and said the problem was security. Now security is done. What is remaining? There's insecurity in our homes, in our youth pockets. And people are poor, whereby 84% of Ugandans live on 26%. In short, every 26 people and every one person of 26 people are supporting 84. It means poverty in this country is high. I heard President Museveni talking about GDP. I heard him talking about poverty reduced in Uganda, but those are numbers which are disputable. Poverty is in how you see your life, how you manage your daily lives, how you live in your house. Are you meeting your basic needs? Are you able to take your children to school? Are you able to get medical? Are you able to transport yourself from one point to another? Are you having a roof over your head? Is your life okay? These are the issues why we come in this election. I want to thank my party, Forum for Democratic Change, for giving me an opportunity to carry their flag as a presidential candidate. And this I attribute it to my party leaders, my brother, who is the current president of the party, POA, that's Patrick Amriat Oboy, my chairman, Jack Sabit, whom I've known from my younger days as a civil servant and he has mentored me up to date, all my members of NEC, National Council, Delegates Conference, and the party members and the Uganda at large. This election which I come, I bring a new menu, which all of Ugandans should take. I don't come with hatred. I don't come with anger. I come to build bridges where there are no bridges. I come to repair bridges where are broken. 40 years down the road, President Museveni has done what he can. The remaining period, he can't do it. It needs a new blood to fix it. And I'm asking people of Uganda, this is an opportunity for you to allow new blood in Nandala Mafavi to fix this country for you. This country, our youth are suffering. Poverty is on increase with the youth. They tell the youth are taking marijuana, but they're taking it not because they want, but because they're unemployed. We need to invest in the productive sectors instead of investing in non-productive sectors. This country, we have the best climate which can grow anything. Agriculture is our backbone. I can tell you we can even grow stones and the people will make money. Our problem we have, our country does not look at, our leaders does not look at a farmer, what he should get out of his produce. That's why many farmers have abandoned cotton, have abandoned coffee, have abandoned tea, have abandoned sugarcane, have abandoned potato, mention it. And that's why the poverty is on increase. I and my team, if you give us power in January 2026, I want to assure you that the agriculture sector will get 10% of the national budget so that we develop this country. As we develop the agriculture sector, we need to look at what the farmers produce. Do we have market? If there's no market, the government will make sure provides the market. We shall have stores, which you know them, silos, to keep our produce. Farmers suffer because they have a problem of what we call post-harvest. A man has a small house with his wife, his children. He produces 10 bags of maize. He has nowhere to keep them. I want to tell you that if we have a responsible government, this maize should have been kept by government and issued the farmer with what we call a warehouse receipt, which he can go anywhere and cash it anytime for the purpose of his life. I talk about coffee. I can tell you I am a child of a teacher, of teachers and farmers. We know growing coffee. I want to state that Nairobi now, which is Kenya government and Rwanda government, they are on the New York Stock Exchange. They are taking their coffee at a premium, while ours we are just throwing away. You can imagine a Senate government to allow our Ugandan coffee to go at a cheaper rate instead of going at a premium. I want to implore all of you to take the New York board. You will discover that the Kenya coffee, which has poor quality and Rwanda, is going at a higher price compared to ours. And that's why they come here to buy ours for purpose of going to blend theirs instead of us getting the highest premium. As a president of your country, if you give me the mandate, coffee, which is the leading foreign exchange earner, which was one of those which brought independence in Uganda, will get the best treatment and you will get value for this country. We intended to revamp and of course, I can say revitalize cooperatives. I am a chairman of this cooperative union, the only surviving one. There is no country which can develop without cooperatives. Leave lip service of talking about cooperatives. You must have cooperatives which work. I want to tell you, I come with experience in the cooperative world. I will ensure cooperative societies work. And when a cooperative society works, it will ensure that the people of Uganda, who are those lower side people, will earn lives. And that's why I say I come with experience to make sure that all original cooperative societies are revitalized, start functioning for purpose of helping our poor farmers to earn a living and put money in their pockets. This one is a sure deal because you are dealing with a person with experience, and I come with total experience in that area. Of course, all of you know Bujusu Cooperative Union, when we came, was dead, was on its knees. Now it's the glory of the region, and that's why you go to Bujusu, you're having people putting up iron sheets or tiles or buying cars, doing good life better to look after themselves. We intend to ensure that we have money at a village level. All of you know we launched a manifesto, which is now being copied by some party members and some members of other parties, including the president of this country, because our manifesto was the first to be launched. It's the best manifesto, and I implore every Ugandan to read it. And one of the pillars there, of course, we talk about employment. We talk about strategic investment. We talk about human capital. We talk about special interest. All these are embedded, the 5 pillars, in our manifesto. I'll talk about a few in a summary so that you know what type of manifesto we have. In village level, we intend to have money at village level. Every village will have 100 million shillings every year. Every parish will have 100 million. Every sub-county will have, those are for the leaders. Going up the district at 500 million. Somebody will ask, where will you get money for a village? Currently, this country is bleeding. Corruption and mismanagement totals 10 trillion shillings. We have 72,000 villages. If I give you 100 million, it means that is 7.2 trillion. So the interest which I'm going to do is to plug and ensure there is no corruption in this country. And I'll have 10 trillion to service the village levels. I can tell you villages, you are going to have money under my leadership. Others are saying they are going to do it again. They have been around for 40 years. They have not done it. In fact, President Museveni does not need to put a poster anywhere for 40 years because he has been around. If somebody can put a poster, then there must be a problem. If somebody can talk about going to fight corruption when you have had the power for 40 years, if somebody can talk about that he's going to change roads when he has been for 40 years, if somebody can talk that he's going to give you money in his pockets, in your pockets when he has been here for 40 years and he has not done it, it shows that's a total failure. It's now time to give new blood who can implement this idea. Sports. We have said sports, every school will have sports fields, facilities. I heard President Museveni saying, no registering a school without a sports facility. Where has it been 40 years? Where? That clearly now copying and pasting. Now the person who can do it is Nandara Mafabi and his team. Every school will have sports facilities. I can speak without contradiction. If a Speaker of Parliament can build a stadium, what about government? I can assure you this is possible and can be done. Colleagues and countrymen, we have talked about having employment for our youth. The reason why we have unemployment is because we are, instead of putting money in productive sectors, we're putting in unproductive sectors. Our government will make sure money is put in productive sectors to generate jobs. The youth, I want to assure you, under my government, you are going to get jobs. And this is why we even start and said every graduate who is going to leave, the day on your graduation, you will go with 1 million shillings to go and start life. That shows it is possible. I have heard President Museveni saying that within now 2 years, he's going to provide them some money. What happened 40 years down the road? You never saw that graduates are suffering. It is important that you have a leader who will keep his word, who will move this country forward. I come here without any hatred no hatred. We want to thank President Museveni has done what he could for 40 years. It's time for him to be a senior citizen, our advisor to us. Let him rest. We don't want him to die because of stress of work. Here are young men now, Nandala, coming to do that for him. And I can tell you, I am the best candidate for this election. I'm calling people of Uganda to support me with that fear of favor. I want you to support me. I am the best you have. This is the best menu you have. I ask all parties to support me. I ask NRM to support me. And I can tell you, nobody will be witch-hunted. No. We say thank you. And I repeat, we are going to build bridges where there are not, repair where there are no bridges. Finally, on this leg, we have decided to make our rally at a place called Kampala Road in Butabika. That place is in a slum area. We did it intentionally to tell the people of Uganda that we are aware of your problem. And we are coming there to show you that this problem where you are is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty, you want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. And nobody made an application to God to be born in Uganda. All of us found ourselves here. And that's why we say, I want you to go to a hospital, whether in Kisoro, or Koboko, or Zombo, get equal treatment. That's why we want all regional hospitals now to become referral hospitals instead of having one referral hospital. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do medical tourism where people go to South Africa, go to India, go to Dubai, go to America, to UK for treatment. And those who go are either members of parliament, ministers, or those who can catch the eye of a president. I want you to go to Mbale Hospital and get what you would get in India. I want you to go to a Royal Hospital to get what you would get in Turkey. And this is why we come in, that my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kavale, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure the school will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they don't not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elderly to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants like medical facilities. You recall Mulago Hospital, where there's a building where used to be CMA. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. I have technical people whom I put ahead. I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There's no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math, or you did chemistry, or you did physics, or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Rugisu or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need a teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So why would you disadvantage a teacher of English? All this will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Gulu, you go to Kisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I'm the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people.
Thank you very much, Candidate Mafabi Nathan, the FDC flag bearer. I'm going to invite a few questions for the candidate. And I'd love to have 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies first. Okay, if there are 2, any ladies, please? Okay, as they prepare themselves, please mention your name, the media house, and please stick to the theme of today. Thank you so much.
William Muranga from Beg Media, stroke Beg TV. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now Excellency to be. You
say Your Excellency.
Your Excellency to be. You have previously worked with the World Bank before we saw you in politics in Uganda. Uganda keeps on borrowing from the G7. What will be your position when you become president? Because our borrowing is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can answer. Yes, you can answer.
If you have gone to borrow, it means you will pay back and you pay with interest. So Uganda borrows because it has very little to manage their budget. So we have been borrowing to fill the gap of the budget, the deficit. Currently, the figures are beyond 50%. 50% of our GDP. So that means every year we are borrowing 50% of our budget goes to service debt. Goes to service what? Debt. I'm just assuming now at 50. 10 trillion is stolen. 7 trillion is in public administration. At the end, you find that the money which remains, which goes for service delivery, is about 10%. This is a big cost to this country. The reason our country is not moving forward is basically because of borrowing and the mismanagement of public resources. So as a president of your country, if you give me the power, number 1 is to reduce debt. And the debt can be reduced in the following manner. Currently, we have a narrow tax base. And this narrow tax base are the very few people whom we charge every day. And some of you, of course, you are part of the narrow tax base. If you go to buy soap, you pay tax, it's VAT. If you go to buy sugar, you pay tax at VAT 18%. So in short, instead of buying a kilo of sugar, you buy a quarter because you cannot afford because of tax. And because of that, it costs this country that people don't get enough to live on. So number 1 is to increase the tax base, to ensure everybody is in a tax bracket, and pay little. At the end, it will be more, and you will service the debt, current debt, and don't go to borrow money for non-productive sectors. Money should be for only productive sectors. And this, if done, within 1 year, this country will change. You recall, in 1997, we told HIPIC, all our debt was written off. If this country was serious, by now would be in surplus budget. Instead, every year, we're running a deficit budget. I can assure you, if you block losses, if you block mismanagement, if you reduce on public administration, I can tell you we shall reduce debt and at the end, within less than 3 years, would be in surplus. And the people of Uganda will be living a better life. That's why we say, have money in your pocket. How will you have it? If instead of spending 10,000 to buy one item, I'll spend 10,000 to buy many items, because the money will have value and there will be lower cost of goods and services.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. To be Jethro Kasaiji, I work with UPC. About governance and leadership, how do you intend to practically actually empower institutions of accountability, that is IGG, Auditor General, but also Parliament, to fight corruption? Thank you.
I think you know that I'm good at that. You are aware of the Chairman Park, where we heard the untouchables to become accountable. I am very good. We have the best laws in this country for Auditor General's office, for IGG, for CID, mention it. The only thing is lack of will to support them. Because if the Auditor General produced a report that this such and such resources are missing, and you, the executive, does not implement it, it shows you are demoralizing an institution. If IGG produces a report and you don't work on it, you are demoralizing the institution. And also you must give them resources to do work. It does not mean that you have a dog you are not feeding and you assume it will look after you. It will look after the neighbor who is feeding it. So it is important that these institutions have laws, be facilitated, do work, and whatever they produce, act on it. And you need a man like Nandala to act on such, not the current president, because he has no capacity. Even now, public administration. Let me give an example, Parliament. Our Parliament is too big. Too big. We have created many districts, and whenever you create a district, you have a member of Parliament who is a woman. You'll have LOC5 and the local government. Why did we create them? Because of lack of service delivery. People were thinking if they create this, they'll have this. Parliament needs to be reduced. I can tell you this is one of the topics some people don't want to hear. I and my team will make amendments to ensure that districts are represented by 2 people only, one directly elected member of Parliament and one for women who represent for purposes of gender sensitive. That's why I have my wife here. For over 30 years we have been together, because I'm gender sensitive.
I congratulate you, Mr. Nandara, on your nomination. So I'm grateful. I have 3 questions. Question number 1, we have leaders with masks. People put on a mask.
I'm not one of those.
Let me finish. Number 2, we are tired of deception. They speak as if they are going to do miracles to us. They don't do it. Sadly, we have a paradox of Africa, having everything and have nothing. You can't have everything and have nothing. How are you willing to change that? That rhetoric that the world has talked, that they have everything and have nothing. Number 4, how are we going to remove money from politics, which is a cancer and a pain?
Thank you very much. Let me give you one of the experiences which we have seen in this country. We have the best reports, but implementing them is not there. And many countries, including Rwanda, has got our reports and implemented them. That have been a success story. Now, what is the reason? We can write well, but we cannot do work. Now you have brought a servant who can work. I can tell you, here is a servant you can rely on. I'll do what you are asking me. Removing money from politics is very important. You end up voting money instead of voting a leader. I am begging the people of Uganda this election, kindly change attitude. You vote leaders, don't vote money. Because when you vote money, the person will tell you, I bought you. I want to ask you, of course, that's why we wanted to amend the Elections Act of presidential and parliamentary, that the president should step aside so that this election could be free and fair. Currently, the current government, cannot differentiate it from NRM and the government. They are infused together. And now when a president gets money to give an entity, he's giving it as a president and claiming it as an NRM. So these are things we must deal with. Now, money in politics, it's high time. Don't follow it. In any case, if somebody gave you money you never asked, if it's from NRM, that's your public resource. Eat it. But vote leaders like Nandala so that you can have better leaders for tomorrow. And I can assure you, if you vote a leader who is good like Nandala, he will do everything for you, and the money they paid you in 1 year, you will get it. In fact, they give you safe. Let me give an example, 10,000 shillings. Nandala is saying he's bringing 100 million in your village. So that means every villager might get maybe 5 million. Why do you leave 5 million to go for 10,000? And the 100 million is from your state coffers. While the one who gave you 10 from state coffers has left the balance. These are things you should think about. Even when you're electing your leaders at low level, don't go for money. Go for leaders and you'll be safe. And this one, of course, we need to make a law to deal with voter bribery in an election. The other one that we are deceitful, there are people who are deceitful, they have a mask, and I am not there. I don't have a mask. I am a man we see. What I'm speaking is what comes from my heart. What I work, I can do it. And you know, whatever I've been given an assignment. Ask colleagues I've been with in civil service, I've been with in the World International Market, World Bank, in international world. Ask Ibugisu, I am a worker. If you give me an assignment, I do it. If you give me a bull, it will produce 10 cows at once. If you give me a stone, it will produce water. Give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I think those are the questions.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, upon being duly nominated. My name is Tracy Kansime. I work with NBS Television, and mine is about the building bridges, fixing those that have been broken. Your party itself is no stranger to factions, and whereas we've seen cooperation agreements, memorandum of understandings with the other members of various political parties, yours seems to be under your leadership and that of the Honorable Patrick Boya-Muriat. It seems not to be the case. My question is, what are those strategies, concrete proof that you will be working to remedy, even within your political parties, those that have left and are yet to return? Because I think previously you said, let them go. And so I wonder if that tone or that rhetoric has changed, given the fact that now you're talking about building bridges and fixing those that are broken. Where do you start? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2001, I came to Parliament. We were in one-party system, which was called NRM. In 2004, we formed a party called the Forum for Democratic Change. I have been there since day one. I have never left. So that shows you I'm a consistent person. I was a Deputy Treasurer General of the party. In 2012, Dr. Besigye left the party, so they had to look for leadership. I contested with General Muntu and my younger brother Ekanya. I lost with 32 votes. I never left the party. And if you want to know, you could have tested, I would have left at that time because I knew I'd done well. I can't bring our internal issues here. In 2017, Poa, my big brother Poa, stood with General Muntu. General Muntu was a sitting president of the party. Poa beat General Muntu with over 300 village votes. Recall, during the campaign of 2012, they were calling me a villager, which I like. 2017, they called Poa a villager. So the villager beat a town person. Now, when he won that election, General Muntu decided to leave, to go and form a party called ANT. I'm hearing unfortunate stories about it, that they cannot even go to villages and get whatever they are supposed to get. But that's not a big story. So General Muntu went. In 2021, we went to an election. You remember it was COVID time. It was not an election. My party president, who stood, Poa, whom I have respect for, whom I must thank for saving us, he calls it a military operation. We lost. I hope this time there is no military operation. We're here for this election. So that clearly shows which man I have been consistent. I have never run away. And in 2016, we supported Dr. Besigye. Now, their colleagues in their lives, they are either leaders or no, they don't want to be led. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's why when you see some of them running away, that is the reasoning. They don't want to be led. They want to be the only ones at the what? At the helm. Unfortunately, where they have even gone to lead, they have become, I don't want to mention. For example, let me give an example of PPF, which you are talking about recently. You know my brother Lukwago is the president. My brother Semuju is the Secretary General, mobilizer, spokesperson, mentioned it, he has more than 4 portfolios. When they wanted to put a candidate, none of them came up. They wanted to remain road mayors. They wanted to be members of what? Parliament. That means for them, they are more comfortable to be at the helm, but not to show what it is. I was waiting forward to see Lukwago standing as a what? A presidential candidate. I'm here, he's crying here to be what? A road mayor. And in fact, I want to ask people of Kampala, such leaders don't trust. They can be very dangerous to our country. But in that context, that applies also to my brother Semuji, whom I thought would be. Now, so they went wanting power, and they have got it, but they have failed to execute what they are supposed to. That means if we had given them leadership, FDC would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. Are you getting us? They would not have had a presidential what? Candidate. If they were going to have, they would have demonstrated with PPF they have. So all those stated and said, we are not bad. Those who went with them, some of them were misled. But we want to ask our colleagues, come back. Come back. Come back. We need to move forward. The journey to the struggle for our liberation is a longer journey. Of course, others will reach, others will drop off, but others will join. I ask more to join. I want also more to come and support us, even from other parties. So the bridges I'm building, everybody is free to come with us. And that's why I call on everybody in Uganda to support me. Under the bridge, I will work for everybody. Ask anybody, wherever I've worked, if I've ever been sectarian, I have ever been tribalistic, I've ever been anything of that. When I was the leader of opposition, my driver was from West. My bodyguard was from Acholi. Are you getting this? When I was in my offices, when I worked in finance, my secretary were from West Nile, they are what? That's me. Even today, they have given me guards. Akelo, Omoding. I would have asked to give me these ones. I'm not that category. So this is the only nationalist you have. And I can tell you, I am ready to build the bridges. And those which are spoiled, I will repair.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Nzetera kaya nkola ne Bukedde TV ne Bukedde Fama. Honorable akalulu kano kemuzeemu. Bemuvuganya nabo aba NRM. Balinayo munaddala mu local government. Abantu be bayisaawo unopposed. Nga kitegeeza FDC teyasobola kusimbayo muntu. Ekyokulabirako district y'e Sembabule yayisaawo chairperson owa LC5. Naye ng'ate amaanyi g'ebibiina gatandikira ddala eno wansi. Nga mulina ebitundu gye mutalina wadde abeesimbyewo. Akalulu mugenda kafeffetta mutya era musuubirayo obuwagizi?
Nziremu mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu? Webale. Sembabule nayo muganda wange bamwita Ssekikubo Theodora. Waki wa NRM. Weyesimbawo mu primaries. Ndowooza abantu bafa. Abantu bakola ki? Bafa. Ebiriyo ebitundu ndowooza emundu yefuga. Ekyo kyonna okugamba nti ensi eno tulina okujja emundu mu byobulonzi. Bwe tugenda okuteekawo abakulembeze baffe tujjewo emundu. Sembabule tulinayo abantu b'ebibiina nga FDC bangi naye batya kukola ki? Okufa. Ky'oba olaba bagamba kabagende. Ekintu ky'olina sure wadde mugenda ojja kutuuka ekiseera ojja kufa. At least that's a sure deal. You will die. But Why should you kill somebody because of what? A vote. So ebyo ebitundu biliyo abantu baffe babatiisa buli kaseera. Kyoba olaba twagala tusaba electoral commission ekomeo etuyambe ekole voter education buli mu kitundu. Olaba twagenda ekotido naffe ne tubeera ne bakansala baffe bayita opposite oba okimanyi naye ebiseera byabwe nga tebabakiriza okuyitawo kuba ffe nnyini twaliyo. Ekyo kikulaga naffe duwe ebitundu bye tuyise ani unopposed. Lwaki oleese Sembabule n'otagambako ebitundu ebirala? Naffe waliwo abantu baffe naye ffe tetukozesa ki mundu. Fyodora bakozesa mundu ndowooza omanyi byavaamu luvannyuma. Akaaba wa FDC neda wa NRM. Twagala kusaba NRM edde mu nkola ekole ebintu bulungi.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Aloysius Byamukama. I am from Mama FM, which is a women-focused radio station. I have seen your position on agriculture. And now, a question in me, it is kind of a global conversation on climate change. We have seen a lot of changes, including the agricultural habits reducing totally. We have seen waters actually coming to settlements where people are. We have seen mountains in this country becoming so bare, a lot of sunshine, a lot of changes. Let me know your stand on this question about your climate change plan.
First of all, climate change is my main interest. Maybe if you want to know, by master's, my dissertation was on environmental. And I even said that unless we settle climate change, we're going to have disasters in this country. It's one of the themes at international level. So we must have financing in the environment to ensure that we deal with this environment. But who are destroying the environment is the developed countries. And we must deal with them. Either they pay for it or not. But also, by the time they do it, what are we doing as Uganda in our country? We have cut forests. We have cleared swamps. That's why you see silting of the roads and the land. If you go to Nakao when it has rained, that place used to be a swamp. Now water floods. There's a lake over there when it rains, and it has taken people. That is us ourselves. If we're doing it, what solution did we put mitigation solutions? So on environment, I want to tell you that I and my government, if you give me authority, will be our priority to ensure we have a better environment for our country. So we'll invest in it, we'll educate people about it, and when you invest in environment, you're improving the health of the people, you're improving agriculture. Let me give you an example. When we breathe out carbon dioxide. What you breathe in is oxygen, and oxygen is produced by plants like trees. So if you cut trees and you breathe out oxygen, there will be nothing to absorb that carbon dioxide. That in the end, you will breathe in the same carbon dioxide, which is dangerous. And that's why you see there's a lot of diseases caused because of such things. So we need to make our country green so that we are able to have healthy bodies and also to ensure that agriculture also thrives. I can tell you, you're talking to a student and a practitioner of environment. In the global market, of course, you are aware, under COP, I am one of the members on the finance committee on environment. And whenever I'm there, I am advocating for it. This year it will be in Brazil. Unfortunately, I will be in the campaign. I will not make it, but since you are good, I might nominate you to represent me.
Thank you, candidate Nandala Mafabi of FDC. I am Farida Rule, the Executive Director of Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I am observing this process. I have 3 questions. One, what is your plan for the shrinking space for the civil society organizations currently in Uganda? 2, this I'm going to use Luganda. Nchimanyi bulungi nti oli muntu wa economist mulungi. tax policy yo egenda kubeera etya? Tax policy eriwo kati saawa zino ekusanyusa oba tekusanyusa? Let me give you one example. Nze bwe maafunye omusaala bwe gudropinga ku account yange nina okusasula pay as you earn nensasula NSSF. Bwe zivaako ne zigenda nengenda okuzijjako nina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu supermarket ogulira abaana bange ebyokulya nina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Bwe ngenda mu katale nina omusolo omulala gwensasula. Kwegamba government eri kunyunyuuta abantu abatono ennyo nti be bali okufujjirira n'olaba nti omukyala atunda amenvu capital we wa $200 naye nga still government emulilayingako okubeera nga asasula omusolo. Kakati gwe nga candidate otegese otya okulaba nti okozesa ebyo? Tulina amafuta, tulina gold, tulina so many resources. Otegese otya? What is your plan okulaba nti nno tonyigidde government tenyunyuuta abantu ffe abawansi okuba nti nno tugirabirira kubanga we tutuuse tulina development. Ekyokusatu, embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 using owalaba abantu abamu omukyala yafiirwa omugulu nga security ekoseza amaanyi mangi n'omukyala omulala yafiirwa omwana we. Kakati nga gwe nga tonaba kwenyigira mu kalulu oteeseteese etya okulaba nti embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 tesobola kubeerawo mu 2026? Osobola okuba nti ogenda kuteeseganya otya n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga aliwo kati okulaba nti embeera eyo tebeerawo?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Can I answer this because I may forget?
Okay.
The last one, he was asking security. Embeera ki tugenda kugikola? Ndowooza ekyo ekibuuzo kya Electoral Commission. Erina kulaba eti elections zibeera free and what? Fair. Naye tulina okwogera nga abasimbyewo tulabe eti security tegenda ekola ebintu ebitali bituufu. Era tusaba security organization, tusaba Electoral Commission, tusaba President wa Uganda naye candidate alabe nti elections zino zibeera free and fair. Kijja kumuyamba for credibility purposes. Tax base gy'ogambye ffenna tugimanyi. Endowooza oyogedde ku muntu amanyi bintu bya tax base, an expert internationally. Bw'obeera ne tax base entono ojja omusolo mu bantu batono ate oyagala by'okukozesa bingi. Ky'oba olaba olina okukola tax base n'ebeera ennene omusolo ne gubeera mutono. Ebimu by'osabye by'ombuulidde pay as you earn eyo ekituufu musolo naye NSSF si musolo. Ezo savings zo bw'onaatuuka emyaka 5 mu 5 ojja kugenda mu NSSF bazikuwe ne interest. Ezo tezoogerako, ezo zizo ziterese zifuna ne interest. Naye zogambye pay as you earn kikulaga nti bakulekerako okusooka bayita threshold. Kati bwe zirinya waggulu noba kujjako omusolo nga osasula nga bw'okola nga bw'ofuna pay as you osasula nga bw'ofuna. So the higher bw'ofuna nyingi nawe osasulako akantu kangi. Naye complaint yo yandibadde nti sente zange zino zensasula zikola mulimu ki? Ekyo kyekizibu kuba ezisinga bazikolesa bubi, bazibba, bazikola ebintu ebitagasa mu kifo ky'okukoma mu economy. Zikola emirimu ezo ziyambye abantu, ziyambe economy ekule, so that economy bwekula omusolo nagwo gukola ki? Gukula. Naye okugukosa bubi economy tekula ate bweshrinkinga abantu abatono be bajjako ki? Omusolo. Nga bw'oyogedde buli muntu asasula musolo buli agenda mu supermarket. Naye nze nina okugamba nti omusolo bwe gunaabeera mutono no productive sector yeyongere. Tugenda kukola nti sente zo ze bayita disposable income. Disposable income is income oba omaze byonna ebeera mu makono go okukozesa ejja kuba nyingi lw'ensonga nti bwe sector bwe zikola bulungi sente zibeera nyingi, abantu babeera ne disposable income nyingi. Mu kifo ky'okugula hafu kiro y'esukaali ojja kugulanga kiro 2 n'embeera yo nayo ebeera ennungi. Ekyo kiraga nti nawe base yeeyongera kuba kati omusolo gw'ogenda okusasula ogenda kusasula ku kiro 2 mu kifo kya kusasula ku hafu kiro kubanga eyo naye bagiyita widening the tax base. Bw'ogula ebintu bingi omusolo gubeera mungi naye gubeera wadde mutonotono naye ebintu bingi zibeera nyingi okusinga okugula kiro omusolo gubeera at high rate naye nga musolo muki mutono. So productive sectors enkokugambyeko zigenda kweyongera kati gwofuna olaba threshold entono kubanga abantu bebandifuje mu musaala ne bajjako omusolo singa babadde bangi okifuna payers and yandibadde wansi naye kasita muli batono aba earning income kyobola payers and ebeera waggulu ekyo kitugenda kukirwanisa tukole economy abantu babeere n'emirimu ab'emirimu babeera bangi tubajjako omusolo nagwo muki mungi. Kyogambye nti civil society is your right kiri mu constitution article 28-29 freedom of association, freedom of speech. This the president should bank on, who will ensure the freedom of speech, freedom of association. The public must speak. The media must speak. And I want to tell you that constitution was a good constitution. And I want to state one of the items which shall be on our agenda, number 1, is to reinstate term limit of a president, to cut powers of a president. Those are the things you must do. A president must be a worker, not a boss.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any country to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being a backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows and benefits Uganda? Thank you so much.
Those two I'm going to, but I think I forgot one item on this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill to be able to have the one who deals with maize, to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed, because as a byproduct of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we are saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving, by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners, because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when the Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a longer way to build the economy. I think that's what you, Madam, you wanted also. Maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative society, to have their produce processed. Like maize, we should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now in Tungam can have a factory for coffee which has very little coffee, but you cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon side, and there's an entity like Bujis Cooperative, which government, if it was a state government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's where we get. So we must have industrialization, have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro-processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agriculture bank to deal with agriculture, because there's a lot of loss because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but has not been done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. In this agriculture bank to help the process from growing the product from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even the marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person who should lead marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we're going to industrialize agriculture sector. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, if you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there's free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it helps on WhatsApp and, of course, whatever social media, it can do it. But it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts. They send the accounts to UK, they are paid the check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing. But because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that digital is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know 1, 2, 3, those who know Word Perfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Candidate
so I have finished all your questions. Now I want to ask all of you, the media people, be my campaign managers. Tell the whole world that the best candidate is Nandala Mafabi. People of Uganda again, that I'm your candidate. I'm a candidate who has no hate, who has no hatred, who comes to build bridges, who loves every Ugandan. I am one of those whom we should trust. Above all, I am God-fearing person. I love God. I love my God. I have been married with my wife, Flora Nandala, the woman, for 32 years. And we have no plans of leaving each other. And I came here with my bishop. I want to introduce my bishop and his wife, Bishop Patrick and Mama. Thank you for escorting me. Of course, all those people are people of FDC. Brother Jack Sabit, who has been my mentor from civil service up to now. Introduce the poor, whom I've known for over 30 years. Talk about my sister, Margaret. Thank you for being there for me in all those dungeons. Colleagues, I am so grateful. I can tell you I have a friend of mine in 2001. He's called Chwanda. God, Mama Tata and abandoned it. Ask the chairman, please join me. I want to thank you for joining me. This is my nephew, Asranda, from Secretary General. very much.